Good evening and welcome to this edition of the Evening News for today, Saturday, May the 3rd, 2025. I am Gerald Bryan. Thank you for tuning in. In the headlines, President Ali urges media to be responsible as Guyana heads closer to election season. Adriana Young's family rejects calls for protest, funeral set for Monday. Port Kaituma shop owner busted with ganja, and bids to design, build new BERBICE river bridge still on the evaluation. Now for the news in detail. As Guyana heads deeper into election season and on the occasion of World Press Freedom Day, President Dr. Finali had an important message for the local media fraternity, urging them to be responsible and ethical in what is an especially important and sensitive year. More in our lead story tonight. Saturday, May the 3rd, marked World Press Freedom Day, with the local media fraternity hosted at State House. During the proceedings, which also featured the inaugural Excellence in Media Awards, President Dr. Finali lauded the contributions made by the local media. But with 2025 being an election year, he also had an important message to the local media to be responsible and ethical in their reporting, lest misinformation spark unrest.
To our local media, I extend my heartfelt best wishes on this important day. You play a crucial role in shaping public opinion, guiding conversations, and holding power accountable. This is an important year. I expect you to report fairly, honestly, openly on our elections. Very important.
President Ali also urged the general population to be responsible consumers of information put out by the media. When it comes to artificial intelligence and digitization, President Ali noted that a clearly defined framework will have to be developed within the next 12 months.
In Guyana, freedom of expression, including the freedom of the press, is enshrined in our Constitution. It is a cornerstone of our democracy, society, and a fundamental human right that allows our citizens to speak freely, to access information, and to engage in public discourse without fear or reprisal. This was enshrined in our Constitution at a time when digitization and AI was not there. That is why in the reform process, we will have to pay attention to these new areas.
President Ali gave us an example of the United Kingdom, which he noted as a higher degree of responsibility being placed on digital and AI news since there is a faster and wider reach. Meanwhile, a number of media workers were honored for their contributions to Guyana's media fraternity and freedom of expression. They included Guyana Times Evening News Editor-in-Chief Tosika Martin, who was one of 3 recipients of the Excellence in Media Awards. The other 2 recipients were well-known broadcaster Morano Isaacs and studio operator Zinella Marks. Meanwhile, veteran broadcaster Ron Robinson received a Lifetime Achievement Award. Gerald Bryan, The Evening News. The family of 11-year-old Adriana Young has firmly rejected public calls for protests and disruptions ahead of her funeral, scheduled for Monday, May the 5th. In a widely shared public message, the girl's aunt urged supporters to respect the family's wishes and allow them to bury Adriana peacefully. Trisha Sobers joins us with the details.
The appeal for peace at Adriana Young funeral on Monday, May 5 was made by her aunt Amika Lewis amid heightened national attention and public speculation surrounding her tragic death. The 11-year-old child's body was found in a pool at a Doubleday Hotel at Tushin, East Bank, Essequibo on April 24, one day after she went missing. A post-mortem examination PME conducted by a team of 3 internationally recognized pathologists, of which one the family selected, concluded that her cause of death was consistent with drowning. The autopsy cited classic signs such as fluid in the lungs and the absence of physical trauma or sexual abuse. In a brief telephone interview with this newscast on Saturday, the child's aunt urged protesters planning to stop the burial of Adriana to desist from doing so. In fact, Lewis even took her pleas to Facebook, stating in a post, quote, "We do not agree or condone this action. We will bury Adriana in a peaceful manner on Monday. Honor Adriana and the wishes of her family. No protests." End quote. Initially, the family was planning to conduct a second autopsy to be performed this time by Trinidadian pathologist Dr. Hubert Daisley, but has since opted not to proceed with the second examination. Meanwhile, Health Minister Dr. Frank Anthony, in a detailed statement, defended the integrity of the original autopsy process. He noted that the procedure was fully documented and witnessed by representatives of the family, including an independent doctor and a nurse, with the entire process recorded on video.
During the autopsy, this was witnessed not only by the family doctor, Dr. Caleb, and with the Dr. Collins, the pathologist who participated in the autopsy, but it was also witnessed by a nurse who was present on behalf of the family in the room where the autopsy was being done, by a family member who was also there witnessing the autopsy. And then they had another person who was doing the video from start to end. So this whole process was documented from the very beginning right up to the end. And everyone who witnessed this expressed their satisfaction with how this process went. So we are very clear that it was very transparent, everybody was satisfied, and every single question that was asked of the pathologist was answered.
The funeral service for Adriana is being held at the Virgin Nugent Rice Mill, Tarmac, followed by her burial at the Virgin Nugent Cemetery. Trishal Sobers, Evening News.
The financial proposals that were submitted by 5 international companies to design and build a new fixed 4-lane concrete bridge across the BERBICE River are still under evaluation. Find out more in this Luana McAllister report.
7 firms were pre-qualified for an initial pool of 9 companies and were required to submit price quotations for the new BERBICE River Bridge, which will replace the current 1.57 kilometers floating steel bridge across the BERBICE River. However, only 5 of the shortlisted firms responded and submitted their bids. These include a joint venture of China Railway Construction Caribbean Company Limited and China Railway Construction Bridge Engineering Bureau Group Co. Limited, which submitted a bid of US $255.87 million. A JV of AJM Enterprise and Shandong High Speed Road and Bridge Company Limited with a bid of US $279.68 million, and another JV of China Railway First Group Company Limited and China Railway ADRIANA Engineering Group Co. Limited, which proposed US $266.43 million. China Road and Bridge Corporation and Vishal Samjoa Private Limited out of India are the 2 lone bidders vying for the project, with financial proposals to the tune of US $205.88 million and US $465.51 million respectively. Public Works Minister Juan Edgell said these bids are still at the evaluation stage. The new BERBICE River Bridge will be a modern fixed-span structure, eliminating the need for retractions and ensuring continuous traffic flow for both marine and vehicular transportation. As part of the project, the government has already acquired approximately 50 properties on the eastern side of the BERBICE River to facilitate construction of the new bridge and earmarked some $5 billion in the 2025 national budget for the construction of the new structure. However, it is unlikely that these works would start before the general and regional elections, which are slated for later this year, are held. Vice President Dr. Barra Jagdew had explained that government is cautious about undertaking major infrastructure projects before the elections are held, a position he recently reiterated.
The way I see it, might be very difficult to get it done, but the commitment is the bridge will be built, a 4-lane bridge, concrete bridge. So it would be completed in the next term in office. Even if you award the contract, it takes a while to actually get mobilization and all of that. If you award a contract, it takes weeks or maybe months to negotiate the details of the contract. Like we had a team that included Bert Smith and a number of lawyers that work on the contract for the Harbor Bridge, and then one in Linden, etc. A team of three, four Guyanese lawyers and Gaskin, who was the engineer, etc. So it takes a while to even get the contract in place, and then you have to deal with the finances, maybe the advance, getting the advance, getting things like bonds to cover the advance.
The current floating Berbice River Bridge, a critical link between Regions 5, Mahaica Berbice, and 6, was constructed between 2006 and 2008 through a public-private partnership at a cost of approximately $8.2 billion. In March, President Dr. Irfan Ali had announced that crossing at the country's three major bridges, Demerara, Berbice, and Wismar, will be free of charge from August 1st, 2025. For the Evening News, Lawanda McAllister.
Coming up on the other side of the break, Port Kaituma shop owner busted with ganja. Please stay tuned.
Looking to bring your dream home to reality? Or simply taking on a home improvement project? Then National Hardware Limited is where you should start. Let us put that touch to your home. Choose from over 1,000 Berger Paint original hues for any surface. We are known for our trusted brands such as Westinghouse, Philips, Sadco, Rubbermaid, Pyrex, Gibson Home, and so much more. National Hardware Limited, your do-it-best store. Located in downtown Georgetown and industrial site Rhymeville.
Welcome back. You're watching the Evening News. Police in Regional Division Number 1 on Friday arrested a shop owner in Port Kaituma after he was found in possession of over 25 grams of cannabis. The discovery was made on Friday during a search of the suspect's shop. According to the police, the shop owner voluntarily handed over 2 Ziploc bags containing the narcotics. A further search of the shop unearthed a bulky plastic bag which also contained additional Ziploc bags of suspected cannabis. In total, the narcotics found totaled approximately 25.3 grams. The shop owner is currently in police custody pending charges. The Health Ministry has reported a remarkable increase in demand for the human papillomavirus (HPV) vaccine since 2017, as more parents across the country actively seek to have their children vaccinated in line with national public health goals. Michael Henry has more in this report.
Since the revamp of the human papillomavirus vaccination program in 2017, the Health Ministry has recorded a significant surge in demand for the vaccine. This development was highlighted by Unika Scott, Maternal and Child Health Officer and Immunization Manager at the Ministry during an appearance on the Health Matters program. According to Scott, the increased uptake is the result of targeted interventions and nationwide awareness campaigns spearheaded by the ministry.
When we first reintroduced the vaccine in 2017, we're finding that there is a subset of the population, especially those parents who have their children in the private schools, who demanding the vaccines. We find that with older adolescent boys and girls, with those parents who are health workers. They're demanding that their children get vaccinated. Target particularly is up to 16 years old. We extend, of course, an opportunity for anyone after 16 to 45 to be vaccinated. In the pregnancy, we hold out on giving HPV vaccine. We focus mostly on those in the target group for now.
And this vaccine can be administered at any health center across Guyana.
That is correct. There are some private institutions that are on board to give the vaccine free of cost to anyone desirable who fits the age group of eligibility at the earlier age. But with another set of the population, there's a lot more work needed for education because there are the prevailing myths from the North American territory about infertility. And although those myths were debunked even in North America and in Europe, because we're seeing all the strides we've made with HPV vaccine in Europe, they still prevail in our society, sadly. So we spend a lot of time with damage control, a lot of time with education.
Amid the rising demand, Scott expressed concern about maintaining adequate vaccine supply, noting that HPV vaccines have a longer procurement and delivery timeline, typically around 3 months.
That our fear right now is making sure that we have enough vaccines in country to meet the demand, because even HPV vaccine takes a longer processing time than most of our other vaccines, about 3 months before it gets to Guyana.
Michelle Henry, The Evening News.
The Public Utilities Commission, PUC, has issued a firm warning to unauthorized resellers of Starlink Guyana Inc. services, declaring its intention to pursue legal action against individuals or companies violating national telecommunications regulations. Starlink, the satellite internet service operated by Tesla and ex-owner Elon Musk, began operating locally in April. Here is Trisha Sobers with more.
The Public Utilities Commission, PUC, is the regulatory body in Guyana that is responsible for overseeing essential utility services provided by licensed utility companies, including those for electricity, telecommunications, and water. In a statement released this week, the Commission revealed that it has observed Starlink services being advertised and sold on social media platforms at prices significantly above the official approved rates of $11,000 for residential and $7,400 for residential light packages. These rates, effective from April 21st, 2025, were formally approved by the PUC and are meant to ensure transparency, affordability, and consistency across the emerging satellite internet sector. However, local resellers on social media are advertising the monthly subscriptions for as much as $27,500 and $79,000. Meanwhile, though Starlink website is retailing the equipment at $85,000 for the Starlink standard kit and $45,000 for the Starlink mini kit, locally, pages advertising on social media are selling the equipment at markups as much as between $128,000 and $140,000. These advertisers are particularly targeting interior locations where mining takes place and where internet services are limited. The PUC emphasized that no individual or company is authorized to retail Starlink services in Guyana. According to the utility regulatory body, Starlink's local representative in a joint meeting with the Commission on March 17, 2025, confirmed that all consumer transactions, including registration, payments, and support, must be conducted directly through the company's official website at www.starlink.com/gy. Quote, the Commission has taken note of these unregulated activities and is prepared to initiate legal proceedings against violators in accordance with existing telecommunications laws, end quote, the PUC stated. It also urged consumers to be vigilant and avoid being exploited by third-party vendors selling at inflated prices. PUC has made it clear that the benefits of liberalization must come with strict regulatory compliance. Consumers are advised to verify all rates and licensed services by visiting the Commission's website at www.puc.org.gy. Any suspicious activities or offers should be reported directly to PUC. Trishelle Slubbers, Evening News.
And now for a look at the bridge reports.
The Demerara Harbour Bridge will be closed to vehicular traffic on Sunday, May 4th, 2025 at 23 hours 25 for a period of 1.5 hours. Meanwhile, the BERBICE River Bridge is scheduled to be closed at 9 hours 10 on Sunday, May 4th, 2025, also for a period of 1.5 hours.
Women's T20 Blaze, Guyana topple windwards to stay unbeaten. This and more coming up in the Sportscast after the break.
Business owners, it's time to level up with SylviesOnline.com. Shopping with us is a breeze. Browse online and plan your purchase. Check real-time stock availability. Enjoy expert in-store assistance. Whether you're on-site or in the office, shop at SylviesOnline.com. Visit SylviesOnline.com today and make your next big upgrade easy. SylviesOnline.com, your partner in productivity.